into action. Hey there, good morning to you. Welcome back to Infinity Highway. Greetings from Pearl River, Louisiana. Currently I-59 northbound, aka US 11. Where we are running up to about 7 miles up the way here. We're going to pull into a rest area. We have basically just gotten up and gotten underway off the side of the interstate, where we spent the night on an off-ramp last night because, boy, did we have a little bit of an issue when we pulled into that Petro, I'll tell you what. Yep. The whole scene at that Petro where we went and fueled up at last night turned into a whole fiasco because of a security guard driving around in her little car, and I don't know, some kid she had with her, some guy. Yeah, he couldn't possibly have been employed by anybody. I think he was just like a friend of hers, and they were running around harassing truck drivers, specifically me and a couple of others, to death. And I'm talking about racist ass frickin' people. Straight up. I'm talking the kind of people who would go around running around burning down fire stations, right? Because they're unhappy about life or something. I mean, these people were doing the stupidest shit that I've ever seen. Like, not just at a Petro, but anywhere I've ever been in my life. I've never seen people behave the way they were behaving last night. Like utter freaking clowns. And I don't know, I was actually in shock. And it was all over truck parking. You know? So I'll be telling you the story here shortly. I'm gonna pop into this rest area and get myself together first. But I mean, it was absolutely unbelievable. I went, I fueled up and I went in and I got some food and stuff, and the people working inside were really nice actually. But when it came to trying to find a place to park, this black chick and her buddy, it was either a friend of hers or a family member or maybe her son. She was wearing a uniform and he wasn't. And the way they were treating people, customers who spend, you're talking like, I spend under the company name that I work for, let's see, about anywhere from $300 to $500 a day fueling up at that corporate entity, TA Petro, right? TA and Petro are the same entity, right? Petros are typically very nice, like TAs are always really nice for the most part. Petros are like a grade up. Petro is like, if TA is a 3-star, Petro is a 4-star usually. It's like they have more stuff, right? They have more conveniences and stuff, and therefore they're spread out more distantly between, in the country. Like you'll find more TAs across the country than you will Petros, right? So going to a Petro is typically like, kind of like a cool thing. You're like, yeah, cool, it's a Petro I'm going to stop at, These people working there, I'm telling you, they got no business representing that corporate entity. I guarantee you, if the corporate heads at Petro knew the way these two were behaving, they would be gone in a minute. Because they were the most disrespectful, rude, arrogant, loud, I can't even think of the right words right now. Like I said, I got to get myself together because we just left off the side of the interstate. And that's the funny thing.
County Northbound Welcome Center
is
on
that's
the right.
one of the very last things that I heard them shouting as I pulled out of the parking lot was, "Have a nice night sleeping on the side of the interstate." That's why they're talking to truck drivers, right? We're looking for safe haven. We're looking for safe locations to park our trucks. We got a dangerous job. You know, we work long hours, you know, and like we get tired, you know, we need a safe place to pull off the road, right? We need to get off the fucking road. And truck stops are safe haven. That's where, you know, I mean, when we spend a lot of money, so we got a right to park there, right? That's part of the deal. That's part of the give and take. You know, we spend a hell of a lot of money there. Therefore, we have rights to, to park in their lots. And that was one of the last things I heard them yelling out was, "Have a great fucking night sleeping on the side of the interstate." You know, it's like, seriously?
In 1/4 mile, arrive at Hero River County Northbound Welcome Center on the right.
They kicked me out of 2 different locations where I parked that were perfectly acceptable at any other
on I-59.
At any other truck stop across the country. That's what I'm saying. They were just being freaking racist as well. They were straight up. If it had been, you know, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not shy to say this. If it had been a couple of black guys, you know, truck drivers who they were dealing with, they would have let them stay. I guarantee it. There's no question in my mind. They would not have, I guarantee you this, they wouldn't have been talking to them the way that they were talking to us. Or to me. And I told them too, I said, "Man, you guys just want to freaking get at me because I'm white." "I ain't racist. I've never been racist." Like, dude, come on. But anyways, it was a trip. It blew my fucking mind. It really did. I was really, really surprised to have that kind of shit going on at a fucking Petro. I mean, I can see it at a Flying J Pilot or, you know, maybe even a Love's. Actually, I can't see it at the Love's. I can see it Pilot Flying J's, but not a TA or Petro. So anyways, I gotta go get myself together, wash my face, brush my teeth, and all that stuff. So we'll talk to you here shortly. Okie dokie. I guess I got my shit together. Time to get out of Dodge. Oh, and by the way, welcome to Mississippi. And I believe this is the Mississippi Welcome Center. You know, I ought to have just gone ahead and pushed my way here last night, but it was most likely full. And yeah, whatever. It all worked out. So yeah, I gotta tell you the story here. And I'll try to make it as brief as possible. I'm not gonna like drag it out. I'm just gonna tell you, oh shit, exactly what happened as best as I can, without like trying to over dramatize it and stuff. Like, I'm not into that kind of thing. I'm not gonna like try and turn it into stuff that it's not, to try and sway anybody's opinion of it. I'm just gonna tell you exactly what happened. But let's go ahead and check in here real quick as soon as I get merged in traffic here. So we now have Thursday, July 1st. Almost Independence Day, huh? Okay. 2021. Current local time out here in Mississippi is 12 p.m. exactly as we go through Picayune, Mississippi. 89 humid degrees outside. Elevation about 40 feet. We got 902 miles left out there in Mount Crawford, Virginia. And we will be on the I-59 here for looks like 274 of that miles. Okay, so anyways, yes, without further BS or ado about nothing. So, as I said, I go in, I fuel the truck, finish fueling, I go in, you know, go into the restroom, wash my hands, stuff that I always do, looked for some food, found some food, went, paid, and got my fuel receipt, got back in the truck, right? I pull forward and, you know, I start weaving my way through their parking lot to see if there's any open spots. And, I mean, it was pretty damn full, right? And it was like a tight kind of quarters parking lot. I mean, and actually, like, of all the Petros out there, this particular one was pretty well kind of just a dump, right? It really was. It was a dump. It was not like all big and laid out and expansive and stuff. It was like a little, like, I mean, and the GPS said it was like 200 spots. I don't know. I highly doubt they had 200 spots. But, you know, so, and so the way that they'll do it, you know, especially in busy areas, and I can't imagine that Hammond, Louisiana is like, would be considered a busy hub area or anything like that. It's not like Houston or Denver or anything like that. It's just Hammond, right? But so the way they do it, you know, is they'll have the free parking section and then they'll have the reserved parking sections, right? Sometimes it's kind of difficult to see which is which, you know, and you know, a lot of drivers will, when the free parking is full, they'll pull into a reserved parking spot, you know, and try to get away with it without paying for it and stuff like that. And, you know, sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't. You know, so when all that stuff gets all filled up, guys just start parking anywhere. Man, you know, anything that's big enough to put your truck along the side of a curb. It doesn't matter if it's a red curb. It doesn't matter if there's a no parking sign. It doesn't matter, you know, if they're blocking a pump. Doesn't matter if they're blocking another truck. They don't care. They need to get off the road because they are out of time. They can't drive anymore legally. They have to. Legally, they have to stop driving. So they park wherever they can. Right? So I go waving through the parking lot, and it was pretty well full. I saw one open reserved spot, or maybe two open reserved spots, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep working my way and willing my way through here and see if I can find anything along the side of the curb or anything like that. And there was just nothing there, and I didn't feel like turning back around because I would have had to flip a U-ey and go back through and to be able to park in the reserve spots properly, right? So I was like, well, let me head back out towards the exit or the entrance. And over on the left, there was this big open lot, right? It was a parking lot. It was a big open square parking lot, right? And there was a FedEx, what do they call it? Like, it's FedEx, why is this guy, why? Oh, shit. My bad. It's one of these FedEx trucks where it's like a semi truck, but it doesn't have a trailer. It just has a big box on the back, right? And it's basically they're faster, right? They're like urgent delivery trucks or something, like, or whatever. They have sleepers and stuff. So there was a truck like that parked in there, and then there was a truck with a boat, and then like what appeared to be like a security truck vehicle, and it was parked like diagonally. It wasn't parked even normal in the spots. It was just parked like it fucking owned the joint, right? And so I was like, oh, well, let me see if I can get away with parking in there. So I go into that lot right there, and I back up, kind of just like the FedEx urgent delivery truck was parked. I backed up, and went and closed my curtains, and like within like 30 seconds, here comes this freaking little piece of shit, little freaking who knows what it was, like a little Honda Civic or some just little, a little Yugo or a Yugo or something, I don't know, some little crappy little car, right? Pulls up next to next to my driver's door, and they're like flashing this flashlight at me. There's flashing this flashlight, and so I roll down the window. She's like, yeah, you can't park here. This is reserved for RVs and for boats. And I was like, ah, shit, all right. Yeah, okay, because I saw that. I saw that what the sign said, and I was just hoping I could get away with it. There was no RVs or boats. There was one boat parked there. Obviously, it wasn't going to fill up overnight. It would have been fine. I could have parked there. I would have never been in anybody's way. There would have been no complaints by anybody with RVs. It wouldn't have been a problem at all. But I was like, all right, okay, I'll go ahead and move, right? So now comes the harassment. This is where the harassment begins, right here. So I draw my curtains back open, right? And I'm like, okay, I got to, get back. I got to get back into like driving mode, right? I have no idea where I'm gonna go, right? Because that place was full. So I'm like, so I had to turn on my GPS units again. I start looking for, okay, what's along my route, what's nearby, because I'm out of time. Like if I'm gonna get back on the interstate, I have no time. I'm gonna be doing it illegally, right? So I'm looking for stuff, right? Well, so these two, and so it was this black chick and this kid, right? And only the black chick, only the woman who was dressed in the uniform actually contacted me when she pulled up to the driver's door, right? She was sitting in her driver's seat, right? She didn't get out of her car. She was, And I'll say this, when she first approached me, she wasn't like all cool about it. She was like, hey, you can't park here. She had an attitude right off the top. Right off the top, like just, you can't be parked here, this is for RVs, and like she was rude about it, right? And I was just like, what, that's what, sometimes people are like that, I'm not gonna get all bent over it, so I just says okay, right? So anyway, so they go up into the same parking lot, they flip a U-ey, they point their car directly towards the front of my truck and turn on their brights. And I'm sitting in the cab, right? So they got their brights now directly in front of my truck with the brights on, shining inside the cab. Straight up harassment, right? Like, I mean, like, this is a big truck. I can't just, like, aimlessly leave, right? I mean, or whatever, right? I'm out of time. I'm not, so besides, I just spent $300, $400 in fuel. I got a right to be there for at least an hour. It doesn't matter where I am. I got a right to be there for at least an hour. Shit, I could go pull back into the fuel pumps then and hang out there for an hour if I need to, right? So this is not now just all harassment. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get my shit sorted out. They got their brights shining in the cab, so I turn on my freaking lights, right? Point them right back at them. So it's like, I mean, it's like a harassment kind of feeling, right? And so I'm like, shit, now what are they gonna do? So I'm trying to get shit sorted out, but I'm not sweating it too much. So she goes ahead and she pulls back up to my driver's door, and I just don't look at them, right? And then she goes and she backs back away to where she was and shines her brights in my cab again, right? And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm still trying to trying to find something, someplace to go on the GPS, I'm being indecisive with what it was, because now I'm being harassed. Now I'm like, now I'm not being given the time that I should rightfully have on their property, right? So then she goes and she turns off her headlights and she starts flashing her flashlight at me through the windshield, as if like that's going to get me to do something, right? And so finally I'm like, you know what, let me go ahead and just run back through their parking lot, and maybe I'll pull back in one of the reserve spots, or maybe I'll find something, maybe somebody will have left by now. And well, the way they were parked, they were blocking my truck. They were blocking the exit out of this little side lot for a big truck to get out of. Intentionally, they were blocking it, right? Like, I'm talking being arrogant and harassment, right? So I start pulling up and I just start heading straight for their car, right? And they see me coming and I'm not going to stop. And so she weaves up out of the way, right? And she goes out one of the exits that's different, back towards where the fuel pumps are, the main store. And I go out the other exit and I start taking a right to go back in there too. And she slams on her brakes in front of me, and as if she's going to block me from going back into their lot. Okay. And I blow my horn at her and I keep on creeping up. I'm just going to run straight into her, right? And so she goes and she goes ahead. She goes on up, and before you can go into where the fuel pumps are, she stops her car and turns on her flashes and starts getting out of the truck, right? Because I'm coming. And so right there is the left to go into the parking lot. So I bang the left, right, to go look for a spot, just like I was planning to do. I wasn't planning on going back to the fuel pumps. So I go and I find a spot, okay? And I'm talking, it didn't have painted lines, right? But it was a spot where I was in nobody's way, right? I checked. I wasn't going to be blocking anybody. I wasn't going to be blocking the flow of traffic or anything. It would have been fine. At 9 out of 10 other truck stops, it would have been perfectly fine. Well, guess what? Within 30 seconds, here they come. And they pull up in front of the truck, and both of them hop out of the car, right? Hopping around, yelling and banging on the door. You gotta go, you can't be over here, this isn't a spot, you gotta get off the property, and they're fucking yelling at me. And so I says, you know what, you don't gotta come at me like that, you don't gotta talk to me like that. I start getting mad. I says, you know what, we spend a lot of money at these places. I said, a lot of money. You don't need to be talking to customers this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a hard enough job already. We need to be off the road. It doesn't matter. I got a job to do too. And so she's got this kid with her. And so the whole thing was, she was wearing a uniform and he was just wearing jeans and a red shirt. And so he's hopping around in front of the truck, right? And I'm like, cool, I'll leave then. Because she's going, I'm going to call the police. And she's like looking at the license plate and like pretending to, like, she's got a little radio and she's like sitting there bluffing, like pretending to call it in, right? Like she's a cop. Like she thinks she's like tapped into the cop line, right? That's what she was doing. She's like reading off the license plate. Says it's truck 7 and the license plate is YG, blah, 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 blah. And rah, 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 I'm calling the police. I says, and I says, what's the matter with you people? I says, you don't need to be talking to, I says, settle down. And so I'm like, cool, I'll freaking get out of here. And so I go and I freaking go to put the truck in gear, and the kid, the guy, he gets in front of the freaking truck and puts his arms out in front, like, no, you're not going anywhere. I'm not kidding you, right? So I hop out and I get over on the passenger side, and he had gone back over to her car, because that's what it was, because I had gotten out of the truck. Or no, wait. No, that's right. Yeah. So he had gone over back towards the car, and I was like, so what are you going to do about this guy? Because he ain't parked right either, but you're letting him be. What are you guys doing following me around? I says, it feels like you guys are freaking just don't want me here because I'm white. I told him, I said straight, because that's exactly what it was like. It was like they were doing it just because it was a racial thing, right? And it was. I have no doubt about it. oh, I'm not racist, I've never been racist. And I'm like, bullshit. So I said, so what about this guy then? You guys gonna kick him out too? Oh yeah, we're gonna go. So they start going fucking with him, the guy to the left of me. And they're doing the same thing. The guy, he's in front of the truck, like with his arms flailing about in front of the truck, like you know what it was like? It's like the videos you see of protesters who are trying to block big trucks from, you know, entering across a line of some sort, right? And they'll get in front of the vehicle and they'll put their arms out and you know, and hop around and, you know, and try to instigate you into doing something that injures them. That's what he was doing. He was doing that with me, and he was doing that with the truck next to me, right? And he doesn't even work there. He was just riding along with mom or whoever it is, you know, his you know, his aunt or something, right? He was just there with his whatever, right? She had the uniform on. So I got out and I went and I approached them. I said, I'm calling corporate on the two of you. I said, you two are the most rude, disrespectful, arrogant, freaking people I've ever met in my life. And I says, I'm definitely calling corporate on you, right? Because they were talking about calling the police on me. I said, well, I'm going to call corporate Petro on you, and definitely they're going to be hearing from them. So I got out of the truck and I says, what's your names? Oh, you don't need to worry about that. I says, what's your names? And they wouldn't give them to me. They wouldn't tell me their names because they knew what they were doing, right? They knew what they were doing. So anyway, so the guy in the truck to the left of me, he's actually trying to leave because they told him he has to go. So he's got his truck in gear. He's trying to leave, and they're blocking him. They were intentionally blocking. So I'm talking about these two people were racially harassing paying Petro customers. Okay. Oh, well, Kel, that they probably have to deal with, you know, truck drivers all day long. Well, guess what? If you're in that line of business, you need to treat every individual different for every circumstance that you meet them with, right? Because otherwise, you're talking about the very nature and definition of prejudice and bigotry. Okay, you're talking about, because now what you're saying is, well, then all truck drivers are all classed as, you know, a pain in the ass for them because that's their job. Right? So they need to treat each one individually, right? So, but they were harassing everybody. But so the guy's trying to leave. He's got his truck in gear, and the kid's out there in front of his truck, like bumping his stomach up against the grill of the truck, preventing the guy from leaving after they just told him he needed to leave. And then they were trying to do the same shit with me. And I told him, I says, you know what, you guys are definitely going to be hearing from our corporate. That's it. That's all there is to it. Yeah, you call corporate. They're going to do nothing. All this stuff, man. I'll tell you what. And then I told him, I says, well, guess what? I said, the whole thing is on camera. Because it is. It's on the forward-facing camera, you know, the company camera. I wish I had got it on my camera. It would have been great, you know. I really do. But I told him that, and I'm telling you, she bugged out. She freaked. Next thing you know, the whole thing changed, right? And she actually, and they moved. I says, don't worry, I'm leaving, right? So they were kicking out 3 trucks simultaneously, 3 or 4 trucks simultaneously, right? And one of them went to go pull up to the left to go back towards the fuel island, and they went racing up and weaved up in front of it and stopped right in front of the truck, dead in their tracks, and forced him to slam on his brakes so he couldn't go back around through the parking lot, and forced him to go back and leave the property. And you're talking about, well, at least in my case, you're talking about paying customers. That's how they treat me. That's how Hammond Petro in Louisiana treats their freaking customers who need to get off the road because they've been driving for 14 hours or whatever, right? So they've been at work 14 hours. That's how they do it. Absolutely racist, absolutely prejudiced, absolutely bigoted, absolutely harassment, absolutely arrogant, rude, disrespectful, behaving like clowns. These people. So it was a thing, you know. And even as I was leaving, you know, I was telling them, I'm like, you guys are definitely hearing from corporate. I'm calling corporate right away. Yeah, have a nice night sleeping on this side of the interstate. That's what they said to me. That's the last thing I heard them say. Have a great night sleeping on the side of the interstate. You know, like, you fucking truck driver, you white fucking truck driver. That's what that was. I guarantee you they weren't talking to the black truck drivers that way. Guarantee it. So, you know. Yeah, well, Cal, but they've been dealing with racism. I don't fucking care. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. Oh, they've been dealing with it so long, they figure, oh, now payback's a bitch or something. You ever have I been racist to them? No. So that's what I'm saying. Absolute prejudice, absolute bigotry, absolute racism. That's what that is right there. I don't know. Anyways, yep, it was quite the thing. Yeah. So I did. So first thing I did, you know, I left, you know, and you know, at that point, you know, I was out of drive time, so I couldn't really go far. So there I went. I ended up doing exactly what they said. Slept on the side of the interstate on and off ramp, right? I mean, seriously, where I parked would have been fine all night long in both spots, and nobody would have never complained. Nobody would have never complained. Not one of their customers would ever come in and complain about either spot that I was parked in that last night. It was just them on a power trip. It was just one arrogant security guard and her arrogant friend on a power trip. And they probably do it every night, hopping around and acting like clowns like that. So I went straight off, and I got to an off ramp, shut her down, and immediately went and filed a complaint with TA Petro, specifically about them. Said contact me on my cell phone. Yep, it was brutal. But anyway, so that's enough of that. Sorry, that took a long time. I was going to try and make it brief, but I mean, that's exactly the way things happen. That's exactly the way things happen. And I'm probably leaving some stuff out, like, because it was so just like, it was like, I mean, absolutely like being harassed. I mean, it wasn't like being harassed, it was being harassed. Like, I and a couple other truckers were being harassed. And it started off with me, as far as I know. Right? Just straight up being harassed. Like, dude, I just freaking fueled up and went and spent, you know, 20 or 24 bucks on food. And you guys are kicking me off the property. I haven't even been here freaking 30 minutes. What are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? You didn't bother to check. You didn't bother to ask. You're just out there on a freaking power trip with your little flashlight and your little radio. Like, who are you radioing? Who's on the other end of that radio? Nobody. There's nobody on the end of that radio. I should have told him. I said, go ahead, call the cops, man. I have no drive time. You know, I'm parked in a good spot. I'm not in anybody's way. I'm not blocking anybody. You know, I mean, you hear me say it all the time. I don't do that shit. You know, I look for spots where, because I don't want to get bothered, right? I don't want to get bothered when I shut down and I go to sleep. I don't want anybody come knocking on my door, right? So I look for spots where I'm not going to have to deal with it, and I found 2 of them, and it didn't matter. I mean, you're talking within 30 seconds they were over on me, both times. So, okay, what I say, that's enough of that. Yep. So, anyways, I've jabbered long enough. That was a pretty long jabber session, so I hope you enjoyed the sceneries we went by at least, you know, but that's just, you know, whatever. That's the story. You know, the events of last night, so. Yep. So anyways, we'll talk to you in a bit. All right. See ya. Okay, hey there, welcome back. Hi, Max. So, greetings to you now from I-20 westbound. As we're about to get, about to go across the state line here in Alabama. We're about half a mile. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. Welcome to sweet home Alabama. Looks like that. The Alabama Welcome Center. Shit, I probably ought to be pulling off right there because I do need to make a little Johnny stop here shortly, soon. I think Max does too. He's over here. He's like, yeah, I need to make a little Max stop. So, quick update here. I'm a little bit disappointed right now because, like I was saying, I went ahead, went online and filed a complaint, right, about that whole situation, that whole fiasco last night. And I was a little bit concerned that it wasn't going to get through to where I wanted it to get through to, and it didn't. It got through to that particular, it got through to the management of that Petro over there in Hammond, Louisiana. That's who called me back, was employees of that particular Petro, right? As if they don't already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it is employees in any business, they're going to cover each other's backs. You know, that's the way the world is, you know. Those are your buddies. You're not gonna. She's like, oh yeah, sorry about that. I apologize about that, and I'll definitely. I know what you're talking about. Who was the guy who was with her? Was he chubby? Was he a slim guy? I was like, yeah, he's a slim guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure who that was, but it happened. But yeah, I'll definitely reprimand him. I know you're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're gonna reprimand him. Alright. Reprimand is not what needs to be dealt with. That's because like, you're not gonna reprimand them. You're gonna go over there. You're gonna bring them into your office, and you're gonna have a laugh and a giggle about it. That's pretty funny. You did? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you kicked them out. Oh, that's great. That's what's really gonna happen. That's the actuality of it. They're not gonna, they're not gonna go about trying to change anything. They're all friends, right? They're all co-employees. They all work together. They all, hang out. That's what they do, right? At any business, the employees know each other. They like each other. They're friends. Right? So, and who knows if, whether that was a manager or not. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna do nothing about it. Right? So be it. Fine. I don't need to go back to that Petro ever again. But at the same time, it did. It like, I don't know. It offended me, and it shouldn't, but it did. It offended me big time. Anyways, I'm dropping it. I'm done talking about it. So yeah, anyways, so welcome to Sweet Home, Alabama here, specifically somewhere nearby the state line that we just went over. There you go. I'm not going to give any locality here for you. Whatever. Like I said, we're on I-20. So that's as locality as we're going to get. And I figure I'm going to go ahead and look for someplace to pull off here shortly. So, we'll use the facilities real quick. Oh, here we go. Cuba, Alabama. Sheila D told me. Marker 5. Search near my route. What I want to look for. Truck stop at 28 miles. 28 miles seems like a long ways off right now, I'll tell you what. That coffee has gone through me. I should have pulled off at the Welcome Center. Damn it. Oh well, it is what it is. So, anyways, we'll see y'all later. Here we go. Welcome back. And greetings to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I guess that right there was like their version of the Golden Gate Bridge. An overpass. I don't know. That's like, Did you see that? Did you see those big old arches with the cables dripping down? Like, I don't know. Seemed kind of like overkill a little bit to me, but that's cool. Tuscaloosa, awesome overpass, folks. I love it. I'm not being sarcastic. I love it. I think that's cool. I saw that coming, and that's what that's what turned you on. It turned me on. Turned you on. I don't know. Maybe it didn't turn me on. Yep. So yeah, good old Tuscaloosa. Have I been through Tuscaloosa before? I kind of don't think I have. We got Birmingham in the windshield. I've been through Birmingham before, many times. Oh boy. And for some reason they got us down to 45 going through here, and I can't for the life of me determine why. Really? Nobody's actually doing 45. Why would we? But we're trying to be, we're trying to play along a little bit. We're 5:55 right now. Jesus Christ. How'd that happen? Man, it's already 4 o'clock p.m. Like, wow. Oh, I know how it happened. We didn't get off work until about 3 a.m. last night. That's okay. Now it all makes sense. So, yeah, 4 p.m., 93 humid degrees outside. Elevation about 380 foot. And still en route out there to Mount Crawford, Virginia, of course, with this load of igloo coolers for all the folks in need of a new cooler for this summer, I guess, out there. And we still have, man, 658 miles. 658 miles to go. Yep, I don't know. I'm telling you, I see the signs that say 45, but I tell you what, ain't nobody paying attention to them. Even though they got somebody pulled over there on the southbound side. I don't know. I got like an impatient pickup truck behind me, like, I don't know, I guess it's trying to nudge my trailer along or something back there. I don't know. Here we go. 70 miles per hour. 70 miles per hour. There's the sign. Right there. Yeah, I mean, I can't really figure out what that was all about. I mean, I saw a bunch of orange signs and orange cones. It was an attempt at making it look like a work zone, but once again, I've never seen an orange piece of plastic actually pull tools out of a bag, out of a toolbox, and start building anything before, so I don't know. I get the feeling that they just do that. A lot of little cities that just put orange cones and orange signs up all over the place. Speed reductions and then fines double signs. Just slow down traffic through their city, right? Because the actual speed limit is 70 through there. I guess they just want to say to hell with DOT and posted speed limits and find a way to bring in revenue. I don't know. I don't know. I-20. So I guess technically we're eastbound, not northbound. And that about does it for Tuscaloosa. Yeah. Like I said, Birmingham is in the windshield. Jeez, I can't even speak. Coming soon. Jesus. Huh. Okay. As the billboard said, as if it was like a feature-length film, like getting ready to play in the sky. Coming soon. Jesus. How long have they been saying that, I wonder? Like, since the last time he came? It's been like, yeah, he's coming back soon. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 100,000 years go by, and there's just like, he's coming back soon. Sorry. I'm not knocking it. I'm just, it makes me laugh. I have a feeling that he comes back pretty much every day and every night. I honestly don't think he's ever gone anywhere. I think he's been here the whole time. I don't think he's gone anywhere. I think he's kind of like everywhere, like Lucy. Alright, gotta go. See you. Yep. Good old Birmingham. Technically and officially, we are in Birmingham, Alabama. Just trees. That's what I love about Alabama. Just lots of trees everywhere you go. It's like you don't even barely see the city unless you go through the city. I-59 northbound. And we got rush hour traffic. Out here in the middle of the forest. We've actually already gone past, like, we've already gone past the dot that says Birmingham on a map. And I didn't bother to bring you in because it was just a bunch of traffic. Pretty boring. We got 121 miles now on the I-59 up to I-24 where we will be heading eastbound towards Chattanooga. And did you hear that? Here, listen. No, that's not a giant bumblebee that flew in the cab here. It sounds a lot like one, but it's not. That is the cheap duct tape that I use to try and repair the passenger side mirror. That's like the plastic on the front of it. I don't know. That's just the way the truck came. It was like broken, so I threw some cheap duct tape that we had in the truck here on there, and it's like coming loose and flapping in the wind. Gets Max all excited though. Whenever I want him to stop bothering me, I just roll down the passenger side window. I'll tell you what, you know, here we are hauling just this like 9,500 pound load of coolers. So no, it's, you know, really light load, really light. actually performing pretty well. It did actually pretty well with that heavy load. I guess maybe I mentioned this already. Previous video, maybe. And so here we are with this really light load. It's performing actually really well. It's absolutely it's satisfactory. Yeah, it's doing really well. I've found kind of where its niche is as far as its power band, and interestingly enough, its power band is actually in the lower RPMs, in the lower gears, like in the lower high range gears, like 6, 7. Well, actually 8, 9, and 10. It's actually got quite a bit of power at low RPMs, so it does. It actually climbs pretty well. So for all the bitching and complaining I did the first day out in it, what it was just a different. It's just a different motor performing in its own way, you know, different compared to what I was used to. You know, that DD15, that truck was badass. That motor is badass. It's got a lot of acceleration. In pretty much all ranges of the RPM. But maybe it has like its torque range is kind of like mid-range RPMs, like 13 to 1400 RPMs is where it's got its best torque. Like where this one is like it's torquey down at like 10 and 1100 RPMs. So it's just different. That's all. And I'm liking it. And I'm definitely liking the higher top end that it has speed-wise. I'm loving it. I'm loving it a lot. And trying not to get too carried away with it. Yep. Anyways, just a quick hello from Birmingham, and we're out. See ya. Oh, did you see the sign? Welcome to Georgia. For a short bit, we're just going to be running here, still on the I-59 northbound, through the northwestern corner of Georgia, probably about 10 miles, and then on up into Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, yep, just a quick taste of Georgia oranges, I guess. Yep, I'll tell you, I sure do like driving these freaking interstates on this side of the country. I really do. Down here in these southern states, it's nice. It's just a nice drive. When it's not like a whole bunch of traffic and stuff, and everybody's moving, you know, at a pretty good pace. It's a fun drive, actually. It's like enjoyable. Like through the rolling hills, all up in the trees and everything, and it's all green and lush. all the windy stuff and all that. It's cool. It's far more enjoyable than just like straight flat desert. So yeah, so I'm having a good time. It has. It's been a while since I've driven in these states: Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, etc., Tennessee. Yep, it's been quite a while. I missed it. I missed it just driving I-80 up there for it seemed like ages. Max loves it too. Actually, he's getting a little bit bored and impatient right now. I think he's about ready for a pit stop somewhere along the way here. I figure I'm about ready for one too. Probably one of the next rest areas. Maybe there's a welcome center or something here in Georgia. Maybe we'll pull in. Hang out for a few minutes. Stretch the legs, etc. Or maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a good part of me that's telling me that I probably shouldn't, because we've managed to weave and work our way through quite a bit of traffic, and you just get that feeling like it's still back there. So if we pull off, it's going to catch up to us. That's probably not the case, but it does feel that way. So it's kind of like, I don't know if I should stop at all. We'll see. See you in a bit. There you go. Welcome to Tennessee. Just like that, Georgia was a piece of cake.
In 1/4 mile, arrive at Tennessee Welcome Center on the right. Continue on I-24.
Boy, this place is familiar, huh? Oh, it is to me. Yep. Max, get down. Okie dokie. Yep, we're gonna take a quick shake out the legs break here real quick. Probably call the boss and give him an ETA because I have a feeling he is desiring that information. So we'll talk to y'all later. Hey there, what's going on? So we're over here at the Tennessee Welcome Center, and like we're way off. We went walking way off where the truck is parked. But guess what I found? Me and Max. More fireflies. Here we go, hang on. They're not as easy to see in daytime, but there goes one. They're in there. Do you see them? Like behind the fence right there. See them blinking? That one's caught up in a web. Oh, that one's getting eaten by a spider. And so he's flashing. Where is he? Why can't I see him in the camera? He's in there, he's flashing because he's getting eaten right now. There, right there. There he is. I think he stopped flashing. Yep, he stopped. Oh, he's still blinking just a little bit. But there's more back in here. Pretty cool. Yeah, I guess if it was nighttime, we'd be seeing a lot more. But, oh well. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this something? Max thinks so. And he's just thrilled because there's all these sticks all over the place. Like big ones too. Like, look at this stick. What about this stick, huh? There you go. Get that one. But what about these sticks over here? What about these ones? He's like, these ones are kind of big. Oh, I gotta go. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Chattanooga. Where everybody feels they must like drop down to 20 miles an hour to go past the emergency vehicles here on the left. For some reason. No idea what they're doing over there, but they're doing it there and they're doing it on the right up here. I don't know, I don't think I've ever been through Chattanooga when there wasn't some sort of lane blockage. Some sort of accident or lane closure or police friggin' in the middle of doing some shit. I don't know. It's just Chattanooga. It's like this
left lanes.
through here, like every day, all day. And fortunately, we're banging a left here on the 75 northbound. Woohoo! We're not going that way. The other way.
Are you not smart enough to read the sign there, Bill? Come on. The coast sign's a fucking mile and a half back.
And people bitching on the radio about stuff because it really gets on people's nerves. And lots of cones. Lots of orange signs.
Continue on I-75.
I think it's like every single big city in the United States. I mean, every single big city. And even some of the smaller ones. Has some major amount, an extensive amount of road work going on their interstates leading in and out of each one. And I mean like it's either like massive amounts of road work or just a bunch of fake road work, right? Just cones out, right? Cones and speed reduction signs and you know, orange diamond shaped signs, caution signs, you know, every single one in the entirety of the United States has this going on concurrently, right? And it just makes me wonder what they have, like what the plan is. what they have in mind. Like, what are they expecting? You see what I'm saying? Like, what are they expecting? I don't know. I mean, are they expecting? I mean, because if they're expecting a massive and enormous amount of expansion of population in each of these cities that are already overpopulated, well, that's kind of a scary freaking, you know, consideration, right? I mean, that's like, you guys are expecting more population? Okay, then from where? Where are these people coming from? You know, where, like, and when? And what for? Like, because it's already, like, there's already gobs of people. just don't know. It's just something I think about, you know, and I'm trying to like come up with a reason for, you know, why they would be going through so much extensive amounts of road work, right? I don't know. And they're beefing up the roads, like, I don't know. It's like, what I'm getting at is it's as if they're planning for something, right? Unbeknownst to the populations in the big cities. That's kind of what it's like. They're either making it more difficult or more easy to get in and out. And right now, they're making it more difficult to get in and out. So I don't know. Like if there was like, you know, a mass evacuation out of any major city in the United States, like, you know, a disaster evacuation kind of thing, you know, like an immediate danger evacuation plan needed, these big cities would be screwed. They would be screwed. They would have no way to get out. They just wouldn't be able to do it. And in a lot of states, like, especially like the southern states and stuff, where they get hurricanes and major weather events, they actually do have evacuation routes, right? And they call them like evacuation route A, evacuation route B, and C, and D, and E, and F, and so on. You know? So I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know. I think about that stuff. You know, I just wonder what the hell is going on sometimes. I don't know. Who knows? So there you go, Chattanooga. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Gotta go. See ya. Well, hey there. Welcome back. And greetings and good evening to you from I-81 northbound here in Fall Branch, Tennessee, as we continue to make our way out to Mount Crawford, of course. We are in the works of putting in about 1,000-mile day today. We're going to do about 987-mile day on this shift, I guess, if you will. Because we need to make this 9:30 or whatever a.m. appointment time tomorrow. If we miss it, apparently it can't be rescheduled until this coming Monday or Tuesday. And tomorrow is Friday, the 2nd of July. It's almost today. It's actually 11:30 now in the p.m. Still July 1st, of course. And the boss has requested that I go ahead and push on through the remaining, well, at this point, we're down to 266 miles remaining, which ain't bad. That's not too bad at all. That's, I think we only got another 4 hours of drive to make it the whole way out there, so that really isn't bad. And I still have drive time remaining on my clocks, so we're not going to put in that much overtime, just a little bit. And so yeah, what the hell, right? I used to do this shit all the time back when I first started. I used to put in 850, 875, 900 miles on a daily basis down there, and that only stopped occurring sometime just before the winter, for a couple of reasons. One, it was getting old doing it day after day. It was starting to just kind of wear me out. Two, I was getting concerned about you know, well, getting popped, right, for it. And three, you know, I had brought Max on board here, and, you know, having a 6-week-old puppy in the truck with you, just, you know, whatever. You know, honestly, I mean, like, no, see reason number one, basically. It was just day in, day out, putting in that kind of mileage every day. It was over and over all day, you know. It was wearing on me, it was wearing me out. And so we eased back the throttle on it. But so we're going to go ahead and do it tonight. So that's cool. I'm all game for it. I'd rather do that than sit around in Mount Crawford, Virginia, I guess, for 3 or 4 days waiting to get unloaded. Although I'm sure it's, you know, I mean, of all places to hang out for 3 or 4 days, ain't nothing wrong with doing it in Virginia. It's just that doing it in a cab of a semi, just sitting around in the cab of a semi for 3 or 4 days anywhere, can also wear on you. You can definitely get a little cabin fever, like, no shit, no pun. It's stir crazy, you get bored. Alright, so anyway, so that's the deal. So as a result, means that I know that this day's events and footage is getting extremely lengthy. I'm going to go ahead and call it a wrap right now. And begin another segment later on once we get a little further down the road. We're going to be stopping at Petro and about 50 miles to fuel up. And then try to just make a straight run the whole rest of the way with the remaining, 200 miles. That should be a problem. So anyways, yes, as I said, just wanted to wrap. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope you enjoyed today's events, the Infinity Highway, and we will see you somewhere down the road. Mañana. So you take care. Be safe. See ya.